have a chapter in my book called When Needs Go Unmet.
Yes.
That goes into how every child, every baby born is an expectation. And so we have the expectation to be protected.
Yeah.
We have the expectation to be comforted. We have the expectation to be encouraged. And we have the expectation to be set free, to be able to come back from our explorations and be celebrated. And so when that doesn't happen, we have to figure out a way to adapt. And it's very interesting. In South Orange County, where I used to live before I moved to Colorado, there's a Vedanta monastery that was founded in the 40s. And it was probably one of my favorite places to go, where I felt like I could have some spiritual refuge. So I'm very touched to have that memory, thanks to you in this moment. But really, what's really important to understand from the perspective of attachment, mothering, and what the nervous system needs in order to be fed, to be able to receive food, is that the body, the nervous system, cannot discriminate and cannot differentiate attachment from feeding in the first year of life. So the same nerves, and this is very biological, it's not, and of course it has a spiritual dimension, but it's very biological. The same nerves, they're called the cranial nerves. Those of you listeners who receive craniosacral or biodynamic craniosacral therapy, these are the nerves that your practitioners are working with. The cranial nerves are the nerves that support feeding and the functions of sucking, swallowing, breathing, eye contact, facial expressions, and responding to the voice of the mother as the source of all the goodness, all the sweet goodness that flows during the eating process. And it's not just food that the child receives through the function of those nerves, but the child also receives the imprints, the positive imprints of safety, and the positive imprints of bonding, where the child feels like they're being held in a way that the body can relax. And so we have about a year and a half of developing a mature parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system, where the vagus nerve, through that process of feeding, is getting what we call myelinated. There's a fatty sheath that gets formed. And what happens is, when the child is getting weaned away, I work a lot with kids with people when they were kids, they weren't breastfed, or they had trouble feeding, or they had a lot of allergies. Or the parents, like in my case, couldn't figure out how to feed them, what to feed them with. Because when a child is sick, it's very difficult. Like, something that's supposed to be easy becomes very challenging. And so what happens later, when the child is 2 and 3 and 4, the same nerves that participate in the feeding process, in the sucking, swallowing, breathing, listening, attuning through facial expressions, become the nerves through which we do what's called social connection.